Ooh, I love Jill's photo, how she has follow me on Instagram and her handle.
Cute, cute.
That
Love
is
that.
genius.
Love it. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Okay, I'm gonna let, my job is to let people in.
All
And
right. So I want to know, as we're letting people in, as we're like getting started this morning, we're gonna like go back to week one. So first of all, if you were not here in week one, we chatted a little bit about systems and schedules and how you can maybe like take some things off your plate. And what I want to know is, first of all, let me know in the chat if you did the homework, if you sat down and you did your schedule for a day. And I want to know a, a takeaway that you had from last week. I just kind of want to like set the tone. I want to see who's doing their homework.
And I will mention if you hop on all four of our calls, that you will be entered in to win a planner from Mompreneur Paper Co. So it'll be either like a just real estate specific one, or it'll be like a mom real estate specific one, just depending on whoever the winner is. So make sure that you tune into all four live to be entered in to win. I'm so excited because their planners are really, really cute. I've already pre-ordered mine and I'm excited.
All right, ladies, where are you at in the chat? I need some. Here we go. Here we go. Jill. Check your email 3 times a day. That's a good one. That is a good one. And that's a hard one. That's difficult to do. I'm curious when you did your schedule, how many times were you actually checking your email throughout the day? Do you even know? Because for me, the limit does not exist. Like I am constantly refreshing. It's one of those things where if I have a single tiny break, or if I don't know what my next step is, I immediately go to my email. Next thing I want to know too is, did anybody decide on something in their business that they want to delete, remove entirely, or delegate? Oh, last week was, yeah, first week back from vacay, so everything was kind of weird. Yeah. Well, try it this week for sure. If you did not have a chance to do this, or if you're just joining us, let me give you a little bit of an idea of what the homework was. So what I asked you to do was to basically carry around a notepad for the day. And every single thing you did, everything from checking your email to answering a client call, whatever it was, lunch, if you're taking a break, whatever that is, I want you to write it down. Basically, write your schedule down as you're doing it. Then, what I encouraged you to do is to, after you had a chance to take a look at all of that, go through each of the pieces and see what you could actually prioritize. What was really important on that list? What moved the needle for you? What actually helped you make money versus what were things that you could delete, remove entirely, um, or delegate, meaning hire somebody else or leverage help to get that done, or automate. Is there a way for you to automate it? Meaning, is it something that's repeatable all the time? Are you saying the same things over and over? Is it an email that you can create a canned response for, that kind of thing? So, um, that was the homework last week. So if you are just now hopping in and you have not had an opportunity to do that, I encourage you to do that this week, because you're going to find a lot of ways that you can actually free up some time in your day so you're not feeling so overwhelmed. And I'm kind of like looking over here at the chat. So if you see me like looking this way, that's why I'm watching you guys chit chat. So go ahead, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started on week 2, because this is such a fun week, first of all. So Stevie's kind of going to be taking the reins. I have some fun case studies, some real life case studies. If you know me, you know I love giving you guys really practical and on trend ways that you can use things. And then Stevie has some amazing actionable like prompts and ideas. So it's a lot. We're going through a lot today. So get your notepads ready. I also want to mention that we talked about it, and because of all of the actual tips inside of this week, we're going to be giving you the slides. So I want to let you know that, if you kind of just want to sit back and wait for the slides to come your way, that's fine too, because it is a lot, but it's going to be worth it, I promise. So let me get on here and I gotta move you guys over here first, and then we're going to sorry guys.
Oh, no rush. Here we go.
All right, here we go. So today we're talking all about AI and storytelling. And let me just tell you that, can you still see it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let me just tell you that we talked about this and we were like, man, if we could do it over and we had like unlimited weeks with you guys, which of course we wish we did, but we would probably split these two things up because there is so much to unpack in both of these topics, but we wanted to give you as much value as possible. So we compacted it all into this week. So let's jump in. First of all, I do want to introduce myself in case you do not know who I am. I am so glad that you are spending your Tuesday morning with us. My name is Tara Kroc. I am an online lead generation and business strategist. I help real estate agents scale through content, systems, and smarter marketing. I love all things lead gen. I get a little geeky and excited about it. I've worked with over 6,500 real estate agents, built a community of over 125,000 women in real estate across all platforms, and I host the largest annual online summit for women in the real estate industry. I am so passionate about helping agents build sustainable, freedom first businesses that don't rely on hustle or burnout to grow. And on a personal note, I am in Charleston, South Carolina. I am a licensed agent. I am a taco fanatic, a book lover. Fun fact, my secret superpower is I am a speed reader, and I am a Diet Coke addict, but I don't really drink coffee.
Okay, that's me. I'm Stevie. I am a real estate mentor and community builder, helping women agents grow through content, collaboration, and multiple income streams, which I'm so excited. We're going to chat about that next week. I partnered with 50 plus agents nationwide, built a thriving referral based business, and created The Hive, a national network for women in real estate. I am super passionate as well about helping agents create a business that fits their life, fueled by connection, strategy, and doing work that actually matters. I, unlike Tara, am obsessed with coffee. I live in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. I'm a girl mom, and if we become besties, you'll be getting lots of voice notes from me. I am the voice note queen.
I love
Yay!
it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're covering today. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, we have a lot to unpack today, but just know that every brand is built on great stories. And we really want to encourage you to think a lot about your story and the story you're telling your audience. So today we're going to talk about the 5 types of storytelling that you can start using today. We're going to talk about how to use storytelling in your business and what's working on Instagram in 2025, and how agents are using AI in their business, plus prompts to make the most out of your AI. So like I said, we're giving you super actionable tools today. I do want to note that we're going to do our best to keep an eye on the chat, but typically we're going to be going through things. We're going to ask you questions. We definitely want you guys to engage in the chat. At the end, we will open it up to questions and have kind of an open discussion. So just kind of keep all of your questions till the end so that we can open it up and really have some great conversation. All right. So let's dive into the 5 story types that people love. And this was really fun to put together because, again, marketing geek over here. But they're basically 5 main story types, right? The first one is going to be your origin story. And this is where it all began. This shows the why you've become who you've become. Number 2 is the just like me story. We hear a lot about being relatable, being authentic, and that's the just like me story. It's relatable and real, helps connection and authenticity. Number 3 is going to be the behind the scenes. Now, this shows the process, not just the polish. People are nosy, right? Like, let's be real here. Like, my favorite thing to do when I'm watching stories, please tell me that I'm not the only one in the chat if this is you. My favorite thing to do when I'm watching stories is not always necessarily watching the person, if it's somebody that I like and enjoy, their content, right? Like, I don't only like to watch them. I like to see what's going on behind the scenes, right? Like, so what's on their wall right now? Like, you're like looking, you're like zooming in, what's going on there? That kind of thing. People love that. What's behind? What's in their closet? What do they have? What do they have going on their countertop? Like, I love knowing those things. What drink are they holding? Those little weird things we can't help but want to know. Please tell me I'm not the only one. But, we do typically like to see behind the scenes. Now, as real estate agents, one of the things that I will say that we kind of fall victim to is feeling like we have to look perfect all the time. We have to be polished, we have to be put together. And at the end of the day, that's not really fun for anybody to follow, right? Like, if you're not showing up when you are exasperated and exhausted and like, holy cow, I've been running all around all day and you wouldn't believe what I saw. There was like this thing that went bad. Who was it? Emily just posted something and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so good. And I wanted to mention it. So one of the agents that I partner with, Emily, I think she's probably on this call actually. She posted this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. She was in an open house or was previewing a home, and she took a picture and she was like, there was all this green powder everywhere and I wondered what it was. And ultimately, I think that she said that the model home was broken into and the police had just been there to do fingerprinting. That is so fun, and some behind the scenes stuff that randomly happened that's like, oh wait, that's kind of fun to talk about, right? Yeah. Hey, Emily. I see you. Yeah, no, but things like that, again, it's like behind the scenes of our job. That's not something that like your average person is going to know happens to us, but showing those kind of things makes it really fun. Then you have the transformation story. This is from stuck to successful. This is taking your ideal client from where they are to where they want to be. Then you have the value driven story. This is basically what you believe, why it matters. And we're going to break all these down a little bit further, and I'm going to give you some examples of other brands that have used these. So the first is the origin story. Now, my husband is a Marvel fanatic. He loves it. I have to go to all the movies all the time. But think about it as like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? Every hero has a beginning. What's yours? So every hero in Marvel Cinematic Universe has a backstory that actually makes us care, right? So Tony Stark wasn't born Iron Man. He became him through adversity, decisions, and growth. The same with Captain America and the Hulk, like all the different Marvel characters have an origin story. And again, this is so geeky, but it's very niche. But here's how you can use it in your business. Share how your career started, your first sale, your biggest struggle, or why you specifically chose this industry. Your origin gives people something to root for. I have seen a lot of agents talk about their struggle as a single mom, and they really just needed something where they could care for their kids and they could also make income while making an impact in their community. And that's a really good origin story, right? So think about why you got into this career, why you're doing what you're doing, and kind of create that origin story. The next one is the Just Like Me. And I'm going to play this really quick so you can watch this. So I wanted to play that really quick because obviously that commercial was made to make you feel something. And if you remember when Dove dropped their Real Beauty campaign, it was groundbreaking. It was a really big deal because nobody else was really playing into that at the time. So Dove featured real women of all shapes, ages, and ethnicities, and they basically broke the mold and created an emotional connection. So, what I want you to take away here is that your clients don't need you to be perfect. They need real. So, how can you use this in your business? Share a time when you struggled with confidence, a time that you dropped the ball or figured out things the hard way, which I do literally all the time. And it makes you approachable and trustworthy. You're not perfect, so let's not pretend to be. It's not relatable and it's honestly not that fun to watch. Then you have the behind the scenes. And this is what I was saying, the magic just isn't in the result, it's in the process. So I'm a makeup girly. I love all things makeup. And I really respect Glossier as a company. And they really built their brand by taking followers behind the curtain between like the product development, packaging decisions, messy desks, all the things. And you can see here just a couple of skills. So they're not just showing, this isn't groundbreaking, right? They're not just showing the final product. They're giving you a little teaser behind the scenes because, again, we're always kind of interested. How did all this get put together? And then you have this video here that they did.
Hi, I'm Anya. I'm a visual merchandiser at Glossier. My name is Julia, and I'm a retail designer here at Glossier. And today we're going to tell you about how we started the design of our Sephora display. The goal of our Sephora gondola is to immerse you into a uniquely.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't think the audio is working, so I'm not sure. So basically, in this one, it was just music. Oh, this time it did work.
Glossier
So you can
world,
hear this.
featuring both the details that we love from our product designs and our immersive retail environments. The goal is really to create a playground for our products within an arm's reach that are super recognizable and allows you to get to know the brand in a more intimate and exciting way. We thought about your testing experience and how comfortable it would be. So we thought about legible fonts, comfortable angles for testing, and product shades on a gondola, which we call shade dots. I'm really excited how everything came together, and I can't wait to see it live at Sephora.
Okay, so simple, right? They're just talking to the camera, but imagine doing this with your audience. Imagine creating a reel where you're like, hey, I'm updating the whiteboard today. This is why I do the whiteboard. This is how I do it, and you're just taking them through the process. It's much better than just being like, oh, yeah, I took some clients out and then calling it a day, right? So here's how you can use this. Share your morning routine, prepping a listing, your messy whiteboard, or the real prep behind an IG worthy open house. Another thing that I would say is if you get brand photos done, I don't know why this is such a big thing. Real estate agents love it. It seems like everybody loves these things. But if you get brand photos done, set up a camera Set up your phone, get a tripod, set up your phone behind the scenes and just record the whole thing. Because let me tell you, that's going to get a lot more engagement than your actual brand photos will. So I can tell you that from personal experience multiple times over. People actually like seeing you get the photo shoot, not necessarily the final photos. So things like that is really a good way to take your audience behind the scenes in a way that feels like a little, I don't want to say messy, but it feels a little less planned, and people love that. And then the next one is the transformation story. And the easiest thing that I think of is fitness and wellness, right? So this is the here's what changed everything. So the case study here is Weight Watchers. Transformation sells, whether it's body, mindset, income, or lifestyle, people want to see what's possible. So you can use it. This could be your burnout to boundary stories, or here's what happened when my client finally leaned in and trusted me story. Frame it around results and how you are the one that made that possible. And then you have the values driven story. And think about your values as your brand's voice. And if you have taken any of my programs, you know, one of the first things I have you do is create your mission statement use, because I think it's a really important North Star to your business. So as a case study, Patagonia is really big on standing firm with their values. They really support sustainability, activism, and purpose, and they have a purpose-driven business. So if you go to their website, it's shop and activism. Like you can actually go to one of their main things you can kind of see here is like you can shop, you can buy their products, or go to activism, and they have all of these different things that they kind of lean into. And then of course they have their core values front and center. So how you can use this in your business. So your values might be community, transparency, or advocacy for your clients. Perfect for setting expectations with buyers and sellers and attracting aligned clients who value your approach. So again, one of the first things I always have you do is create who that ideal client is for you, because that's really, really important. And a lot of times your ideal client, I don't want to say a lot of times, like 99.9% of the time, your ideal client is going to fall right in line with the same values that you have. So those are the 5 different story types that I want you to keep in mind. And I want you to think about, have you used these in your business? Let me know if you feel like you have used these in your business. Or if there's one that kind of resonates that you're like, I want to try that out. So let me know in the chat. And now I'm going to hand it over to Stevie to talk about all of the things.
Okay, I have a ton of actionable things for you to be able to write down today. So I know, we will send you the slides, but I do think it'd be really important for you guys to get out a pen and paper and write these things down. Have it visually in front of you, a constant reminder, almost like a little to-do list or checklist of things that you can really start implementing today. And I'd asked you guys in the chat, like, how are we feeling about storytelling? Are we feeling overwhelmed, or are we needing some more tips to be a little bit more strategic? And it seems like I got a couple of responses on both ends. So we're going to start off like really, really basic, but then kind of end on a more strategic approach. So depending on where you're at, I hope to hit like all points. So I think like when I'm chatting with other agents about storytelling, that they either struggle with one of these 3 things. One is either they don't feel confident to show up on video. And let me know if like you guys resonate with any one of these that I mentioned. One, that either they don't feel confident to show up on video. 2, they maybe are confident to show up on video, but don't think that anyone cares about their content. Or 3, they don't know what they're going to post. They don't know, have ideas. They don't think it's interesting. They don't know how to be strategic. They don't have any call to actions. Like, let me know out of those 3 options, which one you guys are struggling with. So I think that, connection comes before conversion. How storytelling builds trust and turns followers into clients is what we're going to get right into. So why storytelling works on Instagram is people, they don't care about the logo. They don't care about what brokerage you're at, right? They hire the person. Storytelling helps your audience see themselves in your world. It builds trust, relatability, and credibility before a single real estate conversation even happens. So like when I was having people reach out to me needing help to buy or sell, they already trust me. I've already built credibility with them. I'm not having to go to a listing appointment and have them interview with multiple agents, right? They already trust me. They're asking me how my dog is doing. They're referencing certain things in my life that they have seen. It builds that trust. It builds that relatability and credibility. So I hope that you can kind of keep that as a reminder when you're going through this process of motivating yourself with showing up on social media. You're not just selling homes, you're showing what it's like to work with you. So I wanted to share with you like 2 recent examples that I've shared that were super simple and had really good engagement. One is a selfie, and I know it feels silly. Does anyone else feel silly like taking a photo of themselves in their car? Like, I'm like, oh, it's so cringy, right? But it's like people want to see you and they want to see what you're doing and sharing a part of your day. So I shared what was on my to-do list for that day. I talked about Tuesday and Thursday. Those are my work days because that's when I have childcare and I'm able to get things done. And I shared a screenshot of a new agent joining me at Real Broker because that's a huge part of my strategy or part of my business is agent attraction. So I shared a screenshot of that and this started really great engagement. And this other thing that I shared was just me, my husband booked me a spa day, like wonderful, right? But I also added this tidbit about a book that I was reading and I got so much engagement. And I think for each of us, like you might share the same thing and might not have that much engagement. But whatever it is that you're sharing and you realize like, okay, my followers are really engaging with this. Make a mental note of that and keep sharing more of that. So I'm like, okay, I shared this about the book that I was reading, and so many people were like, have you read this book? Have you read that book? Have you tried this? You should read this. So this is on stories, Carrie. And I was like, okay, my audience is really interested in books. We're going to start talking about books a little bit more. And I conversed back. I didn't just like their comment that they sent to me. I started a conversation. Oh, have you read a lot of Megan Quinn's books? Which one's your favorite? Like, it's all about being social on social media, not just posting and ghosting. We need to, this is what helps with the conversion. Okay, so I just wanted to share those two simple photos that I did recently, and I got really good engagement on. So we can go to the next slide. Okay, write these down. These are super duper easy ideas to build connection and it's something that you could do every single day. So a glimpse of your morning routine, your outfit of the day, a simple photo of you, a selfie in the car, right? Your to-do list or planner, a quick chat into the camera. What are you reading? A workout or a walk that you're going on? You know, sometimes I'll do a walk, right? And I'll share like a podcast that I'm listening to. A peek behind the scenes of work life. I'm going to give you a ton more examples, but these are all so simple, right? Like this isn't rocket science. This isn't super complicated. I hope you're writing these things down. These are things that you could implement today, right? You could take a photo of us on this call on yourself, educating yourself and learning. And this is a little piece of content, a little inside behind the scenes look of your day that people can engage with you on. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so let's talk about promoting without feeling pushy. You don't need to hard sell to generate leads. And just show people what you're already doing and offer a next step. So think of it like this. You're giving your followers a backstage pass to your real estate world, then you're handing them the invite to join you. So I shared recently putting together some closing gift baskets, and also I shared working in the playroom. because that's sometimes the reality of our business, right? As moms, if you're a mom, like you probably get it. I had stuff that I had to do, so I did bring my laptop into the playroom, and I mean, she was independent playing beautifully, and it worked out perfect. And I was preparing for our slides, and I was asking moms in real estate, well, what are they struggling with right now? And I got a lot of input. It was really helpful to come up with the content for these 4 weeks. But I also built off of that and responded back to people with things that they had mentioned to me, like very relatable, the things that they were struggling with. And so I was able to easily reply to them and start a conversation with that. So really easy things. And it doesn't have to be glamorous, right? Like I'm not working a beautiful luxury selling sunset office today, right? Like we're in the playroom listening to Itsy Bitsy Spider in the background on repeat. Okay, next slide. So here's a ton of ideas. If you're just like, I do not know what to share, the behind the scenes of my business, here are a ton of things for you to take notes on. Working on a buyer's custom home search. You know, I could just have like here's my computer, right? I could have my phone on a tripod, showcasing, bing, bang, boom, customizing this home search, and could have some text over that story. Or you could even turn that into a reel. It does not have to be something super complicated and over analyzing and trying to constantly come up with this viral content. Just share what it is that you're doing. Sending out pop-by gifts to past clients. Creating a first-time home buyer guide. Previewing homes before the showings. Touring new construction. Recording a market update video. Writing offers or negotiating repairs. Prepping for an open house. Like, what do these things look like? When I was in hustle grind mode in the beginning, building my business, I was doing 3 open houses a weekend, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, and all week I was prepping for these showings. You know how much content I had for 3 open houses, and none of these were my listings. Like I never said these are my listings, these were my clients. No, I was like, these are my open houses for the weekend, and people thought I was so busy and had all this book of business when I was just starting out. But just think that's so interesting to see my friends out there like doing 3 open houses a weekend, and you know it takes all week to prepare for this, so it was just constant content. Updating a relocation guide for out-of-state clients, running comps to send a short CMA, packing client closing gifts, just did that one, reviewing a seller's net sheet, setting up a call with a new referral. These are all things that we do within our business that we can create content on. So let's talk a little bit more about promoting without feeling pushy and how to share behind the scenes and give value that converts. So here are 2 things that I just kind of have in my back pocket as photos. So I love to get branding photos done. And like what Tara said, behind the scenes, like yes, for sure. I love taking those clips and turning it into reels. You could also use the behind the scenes for Instagram stories, but you know, there's some days where you're like, I really cannot show up on camera, right? Like I really cannot. No makeup, didn't get a good night's sleep, but there's still work that needs to be done. And I think that, you know, sitting at my computer, just don't have the energy to do it today. Like totally fine. Here's another option. Use your branding photos with text overlay. So if you're like, I cannot show my face today, no filter is going to help this. I mean, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I feel that way. I'm like, no filter is going to get me through this. And so I will share one of my branding photos with a list of like, here's what I'm doing today, right? Like that's why I got those photos. I needed to be able to batch some content, and this is part of it. And then also, here was a photo that I had in my camera was like some flowers and my home buyer guide. And I use this to put text over it and a call to action. But something that you don't have to always be creating so much new content. Like, okay, let's say I posted this today. I could use this same photo in 3 months. Do you think anyone's going to remember? No. So just don't overanalyze it. And so a couple things I want to mention is like, you don't need to be polished. They just need clarity. when you clearly explain your process, even in a casual way, even on the days that you do not have a full face of makeup, it positions you as someone who simplifies real estate. And that's exactly what buyers and sellers are looking for in a stressful market. You're not just creating content, you're creating context. By showing how you think, solve problems, and serve clients, you help your audience visualize what it would feel to work what it would feel like to work with you. So make the next step obvious and natural. Most agents, they really miss the opportunity because they don't clearly connect the dots. So try phrases like, here's exactly how I can help you too, or want this experience for yourself, here's what to do next. And on the next slide, I think I shared like so many call to actions here. So with anything that you share that I have suggested for you, we want to take it to the next step. We want to provide value. So pair your behind the scenes content with one of these call to actions. So here's want a copy of my relocation guide? I'll send it to you. Curious what your home is worth right now? I'll send you a quick update. And you could do like a little questions box, like yes or no, and then you follow up. It's really easy for them to just say yes or no, than to go ahead and send you a DM. So just sometimes just put up that questions box, try it out, see what your engagement is like. Have a yes or no option. Okay, they said yes. Now it's your job to follow up with them. Want the list of open houses this weekend? I've got you covered. I just finished my first time homebuyer guide, DM me guide, and I'll send you a link. So you can set up that automation with ManyChat or SandStore, so it'll be done for you. What is hindering you from buying a home in 2025? Add a poll and then follow up with them on that. Curious what brand new construction incentives are happening right now in X area? Add a poll, follow up with them. I found a few great down payment assistance programs. Want the list? Here is a list of brand new construction homes that are available in St. Johns County under $700,000. DM me new and I'll send you the link. So like, let me know, you guys, in the chat. Like, are these things something that you could do? Is it something that you could implement today with a quick photo, with sharing what you're doing, adding one of these call to actions onto your Instagram story or onto your reel? Link these call to actions to a form, an email capture, or a resource page. So you're not just posting, you're building a pipeline. Try to, I love to do landing pages where I have to get their email address in order for them to get this list of the open houses or a list of the homes that are under $700,000, or if they want the new construction incentives, I'm going to send them to a landing page so that I grab their email because I really want to build up this pipeline. And I'm always thinking too, because I lost my Instagram page before and had to pay a lot of money to get it back. Because I'm like, I need everybody's email address in case that happens again, because it can happen to any of us. Nothing is guaranteed besides our email list. So really using these call to actions to build that up is really helpful. Okay, next slide. Okay, so many tips on what is actually working on Instagram in 2025 with a lot of examples. So aspirational, local content, sharing things while you are out and about. It makes people feel something hopeful, inspired, excited. It's the type of content people send to a friend or post on their story with, oh my gosh, this is so fun. So in my area, like Nocatee is so desirable. It's like the #1 master plan community in the US, and they have so many cool amenities. So I always love when I go out there to take some content. And here's a really cute thing, POV. You finally move to Nocatee and your daily life looks like this, but you could easily incorporate this into your area. And then I've got this one here. This is your sign to move to a city name where you can get this unique benefit, like whatever is unique to your area. It's something so simple. It's good for shares and reaching non-followers. Okay, neighborhood guides. It's instantly relevant to anyone thinking about moving to your city. Relocators are actively searching for this kind of info. Just think, if you were moving to a new area, what information would you want to know? They want to know where they would fit in, what areas are best, and what life feels like in each of those neighborhoods. So it's really good for lead generation, creating a neighborhood guide, and you can plug in a call to action to it. They give you your email, and you send them this content, and then you can follow up with them. Okay, next. And local guides. So I've got some examples here of like some cute little things that you could do over your videos. These are, what do people find interesting in your area, where they live or where they could live and what they get to do there. It's really good for shares, saves, and new followers. Listing features. So if you have a listing, it's just featuring part of the listing, not like new listing, 133 Main Street, $500,000. Like take unique things about the home and create content about that. So here's a couple of examples. The house I'd buy if I wanted a family home, 10 minutes to downtown, and et cetera, et cetera. And let's see what else they're writing. These posts are hyper relevant to locals and relocators watching the market, and even people not looking in your city find beautiful homes interesting. It's really good for lead generation and shares. Okay, so now we're going to talk about AI. Let me know before we go into AI, like how you guys are feeling about storytelling in the chat. Like, are you feeling like you got a ton of examples? Do you need more examples? Where are we at with things? So I'm using AI a lot in my business. I'm using it at least once a day, and it is helping me save time, especially when I'm feeling stretched so thin. It inspires creativity when you're stuck. Like sometimes I'm just like brain dumping into chat GPT and I'm like, here's what I'm thinking very high level. And you could turn this into a schedule. It will turn it into bullet points. It will turn it into whatever you want just to like make your high level ideas like more, I don't know, condensed is the right word, but just I feel like it just knows what to say and how to do it. It improves your communication, yes, even in tense moments. Like I'm reaching out to ChatGPT to help me figure out how to respond to this email that I'm like upset about. And okay, how do I navigate this? And I don't want to be emotional about it, right? I need to be factual. And so using it for that. It keeps your content consistent and helps you scale faster by working smarter. Okay, so I give you a ton of ideas how agents are using AI right now. Super simple strategies to save time, spark ideas, and stay consistent. So you can use ChatGPT to help you with your business plan. If you do not have a business plan and you don't have anyone to help you with this, have ChatGPT come up with a business plan for you. Share your goals, share where you're at, share where you want to be, the things that you're implementing in your lead gen, and have it create this business plan. If you're needing structure, you can create a time blocked schedule. So telling ChatGPT like what it is that you're trying to accomplish in a day, in that week, what are your free times to fit those in, how much time do you think you need to spend on those items, and it will create an entire schedule for you for the week. If you need help with Instagram captions, ones that sound like you and not written by ChatGPT, you can tweak the tone and adjust and have it create these captions that do sound like you. Turning a client story into a real script or post idea. So let's say you had like a recent closing, it went really well, and you're just trying to figure out how to best share this story on Instagram that is going to gravitate towards other people. Like have them think of a hook for you. Have them think of a little bit of context in the middle of the reel because you don't want it to be too long. And then have this end call to action and then tie it in and have them create a caption for you. Literally just share your ideas with ChatGPT and let it work its magic from there. You could, if I do have agents who are like, I have no idea, like, what do I do when a lead reaches out? I need to come up with these like emails that are like, workflows for my clients. You could have ChatGPT create this for your buyers, your sellers, for your leads. Asking ChatGPT to repurpose one story into multiple formats, a reel, a carousel, an email, blog, podcast, whatever. Um, Create a local market update that doesn't sound robotic. So if you want to have or do a local market update reel for your Instagram, but you're like, I'm not really sure what to say, have them create a hook for you. Have them create some really great bullet point content. This kind of goes with what I said about drafting emails for buyers and sellers, but draft a client follow up or nurture sequence. Running comps you can have ChatGPT help you with running comps to send a short CMA. Unbelievable. You can have it run a CMA for you. AI can help explain value, write the summary, or break it down for social media or for an email. Also, I use it to help me personalize thank you notes or pop-by messages. Like, help me write a warm-up, follow-up message to a lead who ghosted me. That was just like another little example that I wanted to add. So hopefully this is like a ton of ideas for you to be able to implement AI today to help you save time, spark ideas, and stay consistent. Okay.
Yeah, so I want to pop in on just a couple of things really quick because first of all, like Stevie said, she gave you a ton of different ideas. The biggest thing with this is we struggle, I think a lot of us struggle with making it sound like us. And obviously at first, everybody's listing descriptions sounded the same. You could immediately tell that every agent was using ChatGPT for listing descriptions, but it slowly is getting better and smarter and learning more. So here's what I want to encourage you to do this week when it comes to your chat GPT, if you are already using it, because I can see that a lot of you are currently using it for your texts and your emails and things like that. What I want you to do is I want you to give it a prompt, and Stevie, you may have already said this like later on. If you did, I apologize. I'm kind of double dipping then, but I want you to talk to your chat GPT and say, like, listen, I want you to really lock in my brand voice and my tone. Ask me all the questions you need in order to get my brand um, for content moving forward, like blog posts, social media captions, emails, da 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 da. List it all out. ChatGPT is then going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. And this is going to take a little bit of time, right? Like this is going to take some time. So it is definitely like a little bit of a homework assignment. But if you can sit down and you can be really thorough with your brand, your tone, your voice, your values, all of those different things, ChatGPT now has a memory and it can pull that whenever it's creating your content so that it's constantly sounding like you and not like ChatGPT. So if you have not already done that, I like to call it seeding. You're seeding your ChatGPT. You're giving it memory. If you have not already done that, I encourage you to do that because then when you do all of these ideas that Stevie gave you, it's going to sound very on brand to you and it's not going to sound super robotic or like disconnected from who you are as a person, which of course we don't want when it comes to our AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to give you some AI tools that you need to know because obviously ChatGPT is our go-to, right? We all know ChatGPT, but I wanted to give you some other places that you can utilize AI in your business, right? So the first one, obviously, ChatGPT. This is your writing assistant. You can write listing descriptions, email templates, social captions, or generate follow-up messages for leads. Obviously, Stevie gave you a ton of different examples that you can use. This is kind of your writing BFF, right? Then Canva now has AI-powered design and copy tools, so you can create polished marketing materials, flyers, social posts, and video content really quickly. So think of this as your design BFF. Descript, this is an amazing tool and I am having a blast with it. It is a video and audio editor. So you can create polished walkthrough videos, educational clips, or voiceovers really easily, even if you're not techie. So this is great for easy editing. So what you do is you upload your video or you upload your audio and it will create the transcript. And instead of like cutting clips in the video, you basically can cut the transcript and it will automatically edit the video. If you have watched any of my videos, my talking head videos on Instagram, I am using Descript with it. And I'm having a lot of fun because then I'm adding overlays to help add some visual interest. So there's some really cool things that you can do with it if you are someone that does a lot of reels where you're doing talking head, or if you're using YouTube, doing YouTube videos, if you have a podcast, anything like that. So Descript is a great tool. And then you have Midjourney, which is your AI image. Did I like create a circle? Where did this come from?
Did I do that? No.
I think you did that. She really wants you to remember this slide. So I've never seen it before. So Midjourney is your AI image generation based on text prompts. So you can create hyper-specific visuals for branding and marketing when stock images won't cut it. So fun fact, all of these photos were created using Midjourney. So again, you can create really on-brand photos for your website, for your social media, things like that. So it's fun to play around with when you have time. Tailwind is another tool that you can use to help with your social media scheduling, and you also can do design in it as well, especially for Pinterest and Instagram, which if you have been in my world at all, you know that I think Pinterest is an underutilized lead gen tool. So I do like to use Tailwind for my social scheduling. And then a brokerage AI. Like if your brokerage is not technology focused, they are quickly going to be left behind because this is the future. So with Reel, you have access to Leo. And basically, this is your on-demand AI assistant, right? So you can easily go in and you can check your revenue share. You can pull transaction updates. It helps keep you informed without you having to go to your broker for every single thing or dig through your dashboards. It literally is as easy as, hey, Leo, can you help me with XYZ? And it's going to automatically pull up all the information that you need regarding your business and your transactions on the dashboard. Or if you have questions about the brokerage, if you have state questions, anything like that, it's going to help populate all of that. So if your brokerage does not already leverage AI, it's time for you to look into something that does, because again, this is the way that we are moving towards. And honestly, the agents that are not leveraging AI are the agents that are going to be left behind. That does not mean we're removing humans. I want to make that very clear because that's really important to me. Like, we're not removing humans, but we are working smarter and we're learning to use the tools that are coming out.
Cool. That's me. Okay, so you can hear me, right? Okay. I was making sure I wasn't muted. I have a bunch of plug and play ChatGPT prompts that you guys could use. And should I read through these? I know it's super wordy, but I feel like they're really valuable. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
List them.
Okay. So you can have ChatGPT write a friendly Instagram caption about, X topic, a new community in your area, and include a hook and a call to action. Turn this client win into a real script with a strong hook and story. Write a short market update for X city with 3 main takeaways in a casual tone. Give me 5 carousel post ideas for real estate agents who want to build trust. From what I'm hearing, carousels are making quite the comeback. So I feel like we really steered away from carousels, and it was just like reels, reels, reels. But it seems as though like people are bringing the carousel posts back. So, and I'm here for it. I like the carousel posts. So definitely don't miss out on asking ChatGPT to help you with that. Create a weekly Instagram content calendar for a real estate agent. Mix personal, business, educational, and entertaining content. Include daily post ideas with captions and suggested formats. So you can have ChatGPT create your entire calendar for you. So there really is like no excuse. And you can use it as like an accountability calendar. Like, okay, Monday's task done, Tuesday's task done, Wednesday's task done, using it more like a checklist. Um, Give me 3 Instagram story ideas for a real estate agent to build community and increase engagement this week. Write a post that educates first-time home buyers on the home buying process in X city and include a sub call to action to DM me for more help. So we all have like our niche, right? So think about your niche and asking it to create content on that. Give me 3 freebie ideas I could offer to potential buyers or sellers in exchange for their email address. So, the relocation guide, for the home buyer guide, a seller guide. Write a weekly email for real estate clients that include a quick market update, a home tip, and a personal note from me. Whatever you want included in your weekly email, you can have ChatGPT write this for you in your tone, so it sounds like you. Write a caption that explains why I joined Real Broker. Okay, so a lot of my emails are towards real estate agents now. So I added this one in here in case you're interested in agent attraction as well. Write a caption that explains why I joined Real Broker, speaking to female real estate agents who are looking for community support and multiple income streams. Something to just make note of is, you know, thinking of your clients' pain points. What are some of their main questions that they're asking you, and implementing that in your chat GPT prompts. So super helpful stuff. Okay, let's see. For prompts for business and time management, I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but create a weekly time blocking schedule. You can have ChatGPT help you with this. Like, I want to fit in my showings, my follow-ups, content creation, workouts, family time. Make me a social media checklist for Instagram with tasks to complete 3 times a week. Build a tracker to help me stay accountable to my goals, like number of DMs sent, calls made, posts done. Create a content calendar for the next 30 days to help me stay consistent. Some bonus prompts. Help me word a message to a buyer who's frustrated with the negotiation process. I want to be understanding, but also firm. Draft a text for a seller whose home isn't getting showings, but I want to keep the morale up. So lots of ideas for you here. And let me know, you guys, like, what are you going to implement this week to help you with, utilizing ChatGPT, with utilizing these call to actions? Let's make a goal for yourself so that next week we can show up and we can talk about how it went.
I love this. I also want to say, if you did not do your homework from last week, use ChatGPT to help you. Plug in your schedule and say, here is my daily schedule. This is what I do each day. Help me figure out what to prioritize, what to delete, what to delegate, and what to automate. And that's a really good way to kind of tie in last week's to this week's.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I hope you guys have a ton of different ideas. I have a feeling you do, because this was super, super actionable and tip heavy. So like I said, we are going to give you the slides for that, but I want to encourage you to show up next week, because next week is going to be really, really fun. We are going to be talking about building income that doesn't burn you out. So how you can start building out additional revenue streams without giving you another job, because we don't need another job. We're real estate agents, right? But it never hurts to have additional revenue streams. So we're going to be talking about that next week. We're also going to be talking about where are my people creating community in a solo industry. And we're going to talk about how you can find a community, how you can collaborate with other agents nationwide, and how you can build a support system that fuels your growth. So that's going to be our final week. So we still have a ton of information that we're giving you guys. And then of course, we're going to send out replays. And if you missed last week, you're going to have the replay for last week as well as this week. So again, lots of information. I do want to let you know that Stevie and I are partnering with agents. We've already met with a few of you, and we're so, so excited to have the opportunity. If you are in a position where you are like, you know what, I need more support, I need more technology, I need more we would love to talk to you about joining us at Real. It's something that both of us are really passionate about. I have my own story. We'll talk a little bit about that during the final week, just kind of giving you some ideas on why we made a switch, and why we found it's right for us. And it's not right for everybody, right? Like it's, obviously, maybe you love where you're at and that's fine too, but we would love to chat with you if you are kind of on the fence or you want more information about partnering with Stevie and I at Real. Um, with all of that being said, I know that we are right at 11 o'clock, but I want to stick around for about 15 more minutes if you have any questions about anything we talked about today, because I know we covered a ton. So just in the comments, or if you want to hop off mute, let us know.
Yeah, I added in the chat the link, the Google form. So if you guys wanted to schedule a call with us, you can just plug in your info there and we'll follow up with you right away to get that in the calendar.
Yeah, yay. All right. So we don't have any questions. If you guys are going through, I do want to encourage you to take some of what you learned this week and put it into your stories. Here's the cool thing about stories. They are often underutilized. The reason I love stories is because it goes away, right? So you can make a fool out of yourself and you can either easily delete it or it's on in 24 hours anyway. So it gives you a way to kind of play around and see what your audience wants to see from you. And you may be surprised. It may be the things that you don't expect. So I encourage you to use some of the ideas that Stevie gave you this week, and play around with your stories. And next week, I'm going to ask you how it went. So I am going to hold you accountable and I am going to ask you how your stories went and what kind of engagement you got. Okay, so try it maybe 2 or 3 times this week, and see what happens. So, all right.
Yay.
All
I
right.
guess we'll wrap it up and we'll see you ladies next week.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. Bye.
Okay, bye.